Tomorrow at 5 p.m., two souls in purgatory will see the light for the first time since they departed this world. Two souls who might be from your own family, perhaps your ancestors. Maybe even people you don't know existed, but who are connected to you by invisible spiritual bonds. And all you need to do to make this happen is light 2 candles while reciting a specific prayer that Padre Pio taught. Does it seem too simple? It's precisely this simplicity that conceals one of the most powerful rituals for liberating souls that the Catholic tradition has preserved. And today, on the second day of the Christmas novena, you're going to learn exactly how to do this, the right way. Because there's a wrong way to light candles, a way that produces absolutely no effect. And there's the way Padre Pio taught, which channels the physical light of the flame into spiritual light. Light that traverses dimensions and reaches the souls suffering in purgatory. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal every detail of this ritual to you. I'll explain why the number 2 is crucial on this second day of the novena. I'll share real stories of people who practiced this ritual and received clear signs that the souls were comforted. And I'll prepare you to experience tomorrow, December 17th at 5 p.m., one of the most powerful moments of intercession for the souls in purgatory. But first, you need to understand why this specific day of the novena holds special importance. Because within the structure of the 9 days of preparation for Christmas, each day corresponds to a stage in the process of spiritual birth. And the second day represents something fundamental that most Catholics are unaware of. Padre Pio explained that the 9 days of the Christmas novena correspond to the 9 months of Mary's gestation. Each day represents a month of that sacred pregnancy, compressed into 24 hours of intense prayer. And when we arrive at the second day, we are spiritually in the second month of Our Lady's pregnancy. And what was happening in the second month? It was the moment when the presence of Jesus in Mary's womb began to manifest more clearly. It was when the Word incarnate began to take a recognizable form, albeit a minuscule one. It was when the divine light that inhabited that tiny body began to radiate outward. That's why the second day of the novena is specifically dedicated to light, and that's why we use 2 candles. One candle represents the divine light of Jesus. The other represents the human light of Mary that reflected that divine light. Together, the 2 candles symbolize the perfect union between the divine and the human that occurred at the Incarnation. But this isn't just symbolism. Padre Pio taught that when we light 2 candles with the correct intention on the second day of the novena, we are literally creating a portal of light that traverses dimensions. And this light can reach places that are normally inaccessible to our prayers. Purgatory is one of those places. The souls who suffer there are in a state of painful waiting. They see the light of heaven in the distance, but they cannot reach it yet. They are in the process of purification, burning away the residues of sins that were not completely expiated in life. And what alleviates the suffering of these souls the most is precisely light. Not physical light, but the spiritual light that comes from the prayers of the living. Each prayer we make for them is like a ray of light that penetrates the darkness where they are. And each candle lit with intention is like a beacon that shows them the way. Padre Pio had a very special relationship with the souls in purgatory. He saw them constantly. They came to him, asking for prayers, asking for masses, asking him to intercede for them with the living. And he never refused these requests. Once, one of his spiritual children asked him how it was possible to see the souls in purgatory. Padre Pio responded in a way that surprised everyone. He said, "I don't see them as you imagine. They aren't ghosts floating through the air. I perceive them as presences of diminished light. They are like candles that have been extinguished, but still hold the warmth. And when we pray for them, that warmth begins to shine again." Do you understand the beauty of that image? The souls in purgatory are like extinguished candles, waiting to be relit. And we, the living, have the power to do this through our prayers. And that is exactly why the ritual of the 2 candles on the second day of the novena is so powerful. Because we aren't just lighting physical candles. We are symbolically relighting the light of souls who await in purgatory. But now I need to explain exactly how to do this ritual, because there are details that make all the difference between an effective practice and an empty one. First, about the candles. Padre Pio recommended using white candles whenever possible. White represents purity and unfiltered divine light. If you don't have white candle, you can use naturally colored candles, those yellowish ones made of beeswax. Avoid artificially colored candles, especially dark blacks or reds, which carry symbolisms that aren't suitable for this ritual. The size of the candles doesn't matter as much as the quality of the wax. Paraffin candles work, but beeswax candles are preferable, because beeswax is a natural product that has always been associated with prayer in the Catholic tradition. The candles used in churches since the earliest centuries were made of beeswax, and this tradition isn't accidental. Second, about the location. You can perform the ritual in any clean and quiet place. It can be in your home, before a small altar, or simply on a table covered with a white cloth. The important thing is that it be a space where you can remain silent for at least 15 minutes, without being interrupted. Padre Pio recommended having an image or statue of Our Lady near the candles, because Mary is the great intercessor for the souls in purgatory. She is constantly asking her Son to have mercy on those who suffer, and when we unite our prayer to hers, we infinitely multiply the power of our intercession. Third, about the time. Why 5 p.m.? This time isn't arbitrary. On the second day of the novena, tradition dictates that 5 p.m. corresponds to the moment when the light of day begins to transform into twilight. It's a liminal moment, a moment of transition between light and darkness. And it is exactly in these liminal moments that the veil between the worlds becomes thinner. The souls in purgatory can perceive the prayers of the living more easily, and the light of the candles lit at this moment carries a special power to traverse the dimensional barriers. Padre Pio used to say that there are 3 moments of the day that are especially powerful to pray for souls: 3 a.m., 3 p.m., and twilight. 3 a.m., because that's the hour Jesus was arrested in the Garden of Olives. 3 p.m., because that's the hour he died on the cross. And twilight, because it's when the day dies and the night is born, symbolizing the passage between life and death. Now, I'm going to teach you the specific prayer that Padre Pio recommended for this ritual. It's not a prayer he invented, but an ancient prayer of the Church that he considered particularly effective for the souls in purgatory. But before I reveal the prayer, I need to prepare you internally, because prayer without inner preparation is like a letter sent without an address. It might reach somewhere, but it won't reach where you want it to reach. The preparation starts with choosing the 2 souls. Yes, you need to specifically choose 2 souls for whom you will offer this ritual. They can be souls of people you knew in life, like grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, friends who have passed. Or they can be more distant souls, like great-grandparents or ancestors you never met but know existed. If you don't know the names of your ancestors, that's okay. Padre Pio taught that you can simply say, "I offer this prayer for the 2 souls in my family who most need light at this moment." God knows who they are, and he will direct your prayer to the right souls. But there's a third option that Padre Pio considered especially meritorious. You can offer the ritual for the most abandoned souls in purgatory. These are souls who have no one on earth praying for them. Maybe they were lonely people who died without family. Maybe they were people whose descendants lost their faith and no longer pray. Maybe they were people forgotten by history. These abandoned souls suffer doubly. They suffer the normal purification of purgatory, and they also suffer the pain of knowing that no one remembers them. When you offer your prayers for them, you are doing an act of extraordinary charity. You are becoming the spiritual family of someone who no longer had a family. Padre Pio guaranteed that whoever prays for the abandoned souls receives special graces, because these souls, once freed, become powerful intercessors in heaven, and they never forget who helped them. They spend all eternity repaying with prayers and protection. So you have these 3 options for choosing your 2 souls: people you knew who have died, unknown ancestors of your family, or abandoned souls in purgatory. Choose before starting the ritual. Now, I'll describe the ritual step by step. At 4:50 p.m., 10 minutes before the ritual time, you should already be in the chosen location with everything prepared, the two candles positioned side by side, but not touching. There should be a space of approximately the width of 3 fingers between them. This space represents the veil between the worlds that the light will cross. If you have an image of Our Lady, position it behind the candles so that the flames, when lit, illuminate her face. If you have holy water, place a small container next to the candles. You will use it at the end of the ritual. At 4:55 p.m., 5 minutes before the time, begin to make inner silence. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply 3 times. Put aside the thoughts of everyday life. Concentrate only on the presence of God and on the souls for whom you will pray. Visualize these 2 souls mentally. If they were people you knew, remember their faces, their voices, moments you lived together. If they are unknown souls, imagine them as presences of weakened light, waiting in the dark, yearning for liberation. At 5:00 p.m. sharp, light the first candle. As you light it, say aloud or mentally, "This light represents the light of Christ, which illuminates every soul. I offer it for the first soul I chose. May this light reach her where she is." Then spend a few seconds contemplating the flame. Observe how it dances, how it projects shadows, how it transforms the darkness around it. After approximately 30 seconds, light the second candle from the flame of the first. This is important. The second candle must be lit from the first, not from a separate match. This symbolizes that the light of Christ spreads, that one grace generates another grace, that one liberation makes another liberation possible. As you light the second candle, say, "This light represents the light of Our Lady, who reflects the light of Christ. I offer it for the second soul I chose. May this light reach him where he is." Now you have 2 candles lit. Spend a few moments contemplating the 2 flames. Observe how they seem to talk to each other, how sometimes they lean in the same direction, how together they create a light greater than each alone. It is at this moment that you will pray the main prayer. The prayer that Padre Pio recommended is the De Profundis, Psalm 130 in the Protestant numbering. This is the psalm that the Church has used for centuries in prayers for the dead. I will recite it now for you to memorize. "Out of the depths I have cried to you, O Lord. Lord, hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to the voice of my supplication. If you, O Lord, should mark our iniquities, Lord, who might endure? For with you is forgiveness. Because of your law I have waited for you, O Lord. My soul has relied on his word. My soul has hoped in the Lord. From the morning watch even until night, let Israel hope in the Lord. For with the Lord there is mercy, and with him there is plentiful redemption. And he shall redeem Israel from all their iniquities." After reciting the psalm once, Padre Pio recommended adding the following ejaculation 3 times. "Eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon them." This ejaculation is particularly powerful when prayed before lit candles, because you are literally asking for perpetual light while contemplating the physical light of the candles. The symbol and the reality meet. The visible points to the invisible. After the 3 ejaculations, remain silent for at least 5 minutes. This is the most important moment of the ritual. It is when you should open your heart to receive any message, any intuition, any sign that the souls may want to send. Padre Pio recounted that many people, during this moment of silence, experience unexplainable sensations. Some feel a deep peace that was not there before. Others feel a sudden emotion, sometimes tears, without knowing exactly why. Still others feel a subtle presence, as if someone invisible were at their side thanking them. Do not force anything. Do not try to create experiences that are not happening. Simply be present, attentive, available. If something comes, and receive it with gratitude. If nothing special comes, trust that the souls received your prayer anyway. After those 5 minutes of silence, conclude the ritual with a prayer of thanksgiving. It can be spontaneous, from the heart. Thank God for the opportunity to intercede for the souls in purgatory. Thank the souls themselves for receiving your prayer. Thank Our Lady, the Blessed Mother, for her constant intercession. If you have holy water, now is the time to use it. Dip your fingers in the water and make the sign of the cross over the 2 candles without extinguishing them. Say, "May this holy water purify any imperfection in this prayer and bring to these souls the fullness of grace that God desires to grant." Then let the candles burn naturally until the end. Do not extinguish them. Padre Pio taught that extinguishing the candles before they finish is like interrupting a prayer. Halfway through, the light must continue shining until it naturally burns out. This symbolizes that your intercession continues. Even after you have finished praying, while the candles burn, you can continue with your normal activities, but maintain a gentle awareness that the ritual is still underway. From time to time, glance at the candles. Each time you look, renew mentally your intention for the 2 souls. When the candles finally extinguish themselves, the ritual is complete. The 2 souls you chose will have received a significant amount of spiritual light. Perhaps it will not be enough to completely free them from purgatory. That depends on the state of each soul, but it certainly eased their suffering and accelerated their process of purification. Now, I want to tell you a story that happened to a woman who practiced this ritual, following exactly the instructions of Padre Pio. Her name was Isabella, an Italian woman who lived in Boston and in the 1950s. She had lost her mother just a few months prior and lived tormented by the uncertainty about her eternal destiny. Her mother had been a good woman, a practicing Catholic, but like all of us, she had her sins and imperfections. Isabella did not know if her mother was in heaven or in purgatory, and this doubt consumed her. One day, she traveled to San Giovanni Rotondo to confess to Padre Pio. In confession, she asked him directly, "Padre, is my mother in heaven or in purgatory?" Padre Pio remained silent for a moment. Then he said, "Your mother is in a place of waiting. She sees the light, but cannot yet touch it. She needs your prayers." Isabella began to cry. At the same time, she felt relief, knowing that her mother was not condemned, but also pain, knowing that she suffered. Padre Pio then taught her the ritual of the 2 candles. He said to do it during the Christmas novena, especially on the 2nd day. He said to light 1 candle for her mother and another for an abandoned soul. And he said to be patient, because complete liberation could take time. Isabella returned to Boston and waited until December. When the 2nd day of the novena arrived, she did exactly what Padre Pio had taught. She prepared 2 white candles, positioned a picture of Our Lady, chose the hour of twilight, prayed the De Profundis, and remained in silence. And during the silence, something extraordinary happened. Isabella suddenly smelled a perfume of flowers. There were no flowers in the house. It was winter. The windows were closed, but the perfume was unmistakable. Roses. The perfume that so many associated with the presence of Padre Pio. Along with the perfume came a feeling of peace that she described as impossible to explain in words. It was as if someone was embracing her from within. She began to cry, but not from sadness. They were tears of a joy that she did not understand where it came from. And then she heard, not with her physical ears, but with something deeper. A voice she recognized immediately, the voice of her mother, saying only 2 words, "Thank you, daughter." Isabella was paralyzed. The candles continued burning. The perfume of roses remained for several minutes before dissipating. The feeling of peace lasted for the rest of the night. In the following week, she wrote a letter to Padre Pio. telling him what had happened. His reply came in just a few lines. "Your mother is closer to the light now. Continue praying. Next Christmas, she will be free." And that is exactly what happened. Throughout the following year, Isabella continued doing the ritual of the candles, not only during the Christmas novena, but at other times as well. And on the second day of the novena the following Christmas, while doing the ritual, she felt again that extraordinary peace, but this time accompanied by an absolute certainty. Her mother had been liberated. She was in heaven. She never felt her mother's presence in the same way after that, not because her mother had abandoned her, but because now her mother was in a place of complete joy, where there was no longer need for the same communications. The relationship between them continued, but on a different level, more subtle, more serene. This story illustrates something important about the ritual of the two candles. It is not magical, in the sense of producing guaranteed instant results. The liberation of a soul from purgatory is a process that depends on many factors: the condition of the soul, the amount of prayer it receives, the mysterious will of God. But the ritual works. Each time you practice it, you are sending real light to the souls who suffer. You are alleviating their suffering. Even if you do not receive visible signs of it, you are accelerating their liberation. Even if you do not know when it will happen, Padre Pio said that we must pray for the souls in purgatory with the same faith with which we pray for the living. We do not ask for sign with every prayer that we make for someone living. We do not demand proof that our prayer was heard. We simply trust that God hears and acts in the same way. We must pray for the souls, trust, persevere, leave the results in God's hands. Now I want to delve deeper into something I mentioned at the beginning, but have not yet explained completely. Why is the number 2 so important? On this second day of the novena, why 2 candles and not 3 or 5? In the Catholic spiritual tradition, each number carries a deep symbolic meaning. The number 2 represents several important realities for our faith. First, 2 represents the fundamental duality of creation, heaven and earth, light and darkness, life and death. When we light 2 candles, we are recognizing this duality and asking God to transform darkness into light and death into life. Second, 2 represents the nature of Christ, true God and true man, the 2 natures united in one person. The 2 candles symbolize this mysterious union that makes our salvation possible. Third, 2 represents the 2 great commandments: love God and love your neighbor, and praying for the souls in purgatory is a supreme way of loving our neighbor, because we are loving people who can no longer do anything for themselves. Fourth, 2 represents the church militant and the church suffering, we who still strive here on earth, and the souls in purgatory who suffer. When we light 2 candles, we are uniting these 2 portions of the church in a single prayer. Padre Pio taught that there are 3 states of the church: the church triumphant in heaven, the church suffering in purgatory, and the church militant on earth. And these 3 churches are in constant communication. The saints in heaven intercede for us. We intercede for the souls in purgatory, and the souls in purgatory, though they can no longer merit for themselves, can pray for us, and often do. This communion of saints is one of the most precious treasures of the Catholic faith, and the ritual of the 2 candles on the second day of the Christmas novena is a concrete way to live this communion. You are connecting with souls who have already passed, offering them what they need most: spiritual radiance to traverse the darkness. But now, I need to alert you to some common mistakes that people make when doing this ritual, because the correct intention isn't enough if the execution is wrong. The first mistake is doing the ritual in a hurry. Some people treat this as just another task on their to-do list. They light the candles quickly, recite the prayer without attention, and quickly return to their occupations. This doesn't work. The ritual needs presence, time, contemplation. If you don't have 15 minutes to dedicate entirely to this, it's better to postpone it to another time. The second mistake is doing the ritual while distracting your mind with other things. Television on in the background, cell phone in hand, checking messages, thoughts on work or the problems of the day. Effective prayer requires focus. Padre Pio said that one Hail Mary prayed with full attention is worth more than 1,000 rosaries recited mechanically. The third mistake is doubting while praying, doing the ritual thinking that it probably won't work, that it's just superstition, that the souls in purgatory may not even exist. Faith is an essential condition for the effectiveness of prayer. Jesus said, "Let it be done according to your faith." If you don't believe, you are sabotaging your own prayer. The fourth mistake is expecting immediate and spectacular results. As I told in the story of Assunta, she received an extraordinary sign. But this doesn't happen with everyone, nor should it be expected as a rule. Most people do the ritual and don't feel anything special. This doesn't mean it didn't work. It just means that God works in silence, in the invisible depths. The fifth mistake is doing the ritual once and then forgetting. Intercession for souls is an ongoing commitment. Padre Pio prayed for the souls in purgatory every day, not just on special occasions. If you really want to help the souls, make praying for them a regular habit. Now, I want to talk about something that may seem strange at first glance, but that Padre Pio considered very important. He taught that the souls in purgatory can help us, even before they are freed. How is this possible? Because, although the souls in purgatory can no longer merit for themselves, they can pray for the living. And their prayers are particularly effective because they come from a place of intense purification, where every lie and every illusion have already been burned away. Padre Pio used to say, "When you are in difficulty, ask the souls in purgatory to pray for you. They know the value of prayer better than any living person, and they are grateful to those who pray for them. They will intercede with fervor." This creates a relationship of spiritual reciprocity. You pray for the souls pray for you. You send them radiance. They send you graces. It's a spiritual economy of exchanges. That benefits both sides. Therefore, when you do the ritual of the 2 candles, after praying for the souls, you can also ask for their help. Present your intentions. Ask them to intercede for your family, for your problems, for your needs. You'll be surprised by the results. Padre Pio recounted that once a man came to him, desperate. He had lost his job. His wife was sick. His children were in need. He had prayed a lot, but nothing seemed to change. Padre Pio asked, "Do you pray for the souls in purgatory?" The man said no, that he already had too many problems to worry about the dead. Padre Pio responded, "Well, start praying for them. Dedicate a part of your prayer to the souls in purgatory, and ask them to pray for you in return." The man left without understanding very well, but decided to try. He began to pray for the souls every day, and in a few weeks, his situation began to change. First, because he got a job, then his wife began to improve. Things were falling into place one by one. When he returned to San Giovanni Rotondo to give thanks, Padre Pio smiled and said, "The souls have paid their debt to you, but don't stop praying for them. This friendship is forever." This story illustrates an important principle. Spiritual generosity never goes unrewarded. When you care about the needs of others, even the dead, God cares about your needs. When you send radiance to those who are in darkness, God sends radiance to your own darkness. Now, I want to explain what happens in purgatory from the point of view of the souls, because understanding their reality helps us to pray with more compassion and effectiveness. Padre Pio described purgatory not as a place of cruel torture, but as a place of loving purification. The difference is important. God is not punishing the souls in purgatory. He is purifying them so that they can withstand the intensity of the beatific vision. Imagine that you have spent your whole life in a dark cave. Your eyes have adapted to the darkness. Suddenly, someone opens the cave door, and the sunlight enters. What happens? The light that should be welcome causes pain. Your eyes are not prepared for it. Purgatory is like a process of adaptation to the divine radiance. Souls need to be gradually purified of the stains of sin in order to contemplate God face to face, and this purification, although painful, is desired by the souls themselves. They know it is necessary. They yearn for it. Padre Pio used to say that the souls in purgatory suffer with patience because they know that the suffering is temporary and heaven is eternal. And they do not complain about their condition. They do not blame God. They accept the purification with gratitude, knowing that each moment brings them closer to infinite happiness. But there is a pain in purgatory that is worse than the purification itself. It's the pain of waiting. The souls see God in the distance, as through a foggy glass. They know that He is there, that He loves them, that He is waiting for them, but they cannot reach Him yet. And this separation is more painful than any fire could be. When you pray for a soul in purgatory, you are shortening this wait. Each prayer is like cleaning the glass a little more, making the vision of God clearer, bringing closer the moment of complete union. And when you light a candle for a soldier, you are literally sending light to pierce through that glass. The physical light of the candle transforms into spiritual light. That reaches the soul and brings it solace. Padre Pio saw these things happening. He described how the prayers of the living reached the souls in purgatory like rays of golden light. How each Mass offered for a soul created an expansion of luminosity around it. How the rosary prayed with devotion was like a shower of petals of light falling upon the soul. These images aren't just poetry. For Padre Pio, they were literal descriptions of what he contemplated with his spiritual eyes, and he wanted us to see it too, if not with our eyes, at least with faith. That's why he insisted so much on prayer for the dead. He said it was one of the purest forms of charity, because we expect nothing in return. The souls in purgatory cannot repay us, cannot thank us publicly, cannot do us material favors. We pray for them simply because they need it, and we can help. And that purity of intention is exactly what makes the prayer so powerful. God is pleased with those who do good without expecting reward. And often, it is precisely those who don't expect a reward who receive the most. Now I'm going to specifically prepare you for what's going to happen tomorrow at 5:00 p.m. Eastern Time, because the ritual of the 2 candles on the second day of the Christmas Novena isn't just an individual practice, it's part of a collective spiritual movement. At this very moment, as you listen to these words, thousands of other people around the world are also preparing to do the same ritual tomorrow. Catholics in dozens of countries, speaking different languages, from different cultures, but united in the same intention to send light to the souls in purgatory. Padre Pio taught that when many people pray the same prayer at the same time, the spiritual power multiplies exponentially. It isn't just a sum of individual prayers, it's a multiplication. 2 people praying together have more power than 2 people praying separately. 10 people praying together have more power than the sum of 10 individual prayers. That's why the Church has always emphasized communal prayer. That's why there are novenas, group rosaries, collective masses, because collective prayer has a potency that individual prayer cannot reach. And tomorrow at 5:00 p.m. Eastern Time, you're going to be part of this worldwide collective prayer. Even if you're alone in your house, you'll be spiritually united to thousands of other faithful who will be lighting their candles at the same moment. And that union will create a wave of spiritual light of extraordinary proportions. Imagine thousands of candles being lit simultaneously around the planet, thousands of voices praying the De Profundis at the same time, thousands of intentions directed to the souls in purgatory at the same instant. Padre Pio said that when this happens, The veil between the worlds not only becomes thinner, it rips momentarily. For a few instants, the communication between the living and the dead becomes almost tangible, and the souls in purgatory receive a flood of light that can dramatically accelerate their liberation. That's why I ask you, don't fail to do the ritual tomorrow at 5:00 p.m. Eastern Time. It doesn't matter if you're busy, if you have commitments, if it's going to be difficult to find a moment of silence. Make it happen, because your participation isn't just for your own benefit, or for the two souls you choose. Your participation strengthens the entire worldwide prayer network and benefits countless souls that you don't even know. That's how the communion of saints works. Each of us is a link in an immense chain that connects heaven and earth. When we strengthen our own link, we strengthen the entire chain. When we light our own light, we increase the total light available to all. Today, before going to bed, set aside the 2 candles you're going to use. Place them in a visible place so you don't forget. If you don't have candles at home, there's still time to buy them tomorrow morning. Any candle will do. But remember, preferably white. Set an alarm on your cell phone for 4:50 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 minutes before the time of the ritual. That way, you have time to prepare without rushing. If you live with other people, let them know that you're going to need 15 to 20 minutes of silence at 5:00 p.m. Eastern Time. Ask them not to interrupt you if they're interested. Invite them to participate. Choose now the 2 souls for whom you're going to offer the ritual. Think of their names, if you know them. If it's for unknown or abandoned souls, set that intention in your heart now. And finally, enter this ritual with expectation but without demand. Hope that God acts, but don't demand that He acts the way you imagine. Let Him surprise you. He often works in ways that we don't expect. Now, I want to thank you for making it this far, for preparing for this ritual, for caring about the souls who suffer in purgatory. Padre Pio certainly looks from heaven to each person who practices the rituals he taught. He continues to intercede for his spiritual children. And when you do the ritual of the 2 candles tomorrow, you'll be connected not only to the souls in purgatory, but also to Padre Pio in heaven, and to all the saints who pray with us. Have you ever cried while praying for the dead? Have you felt the presence of someone who has passed while praying for that person? Share your experiences in the comments, because each testimony strengthens the faith of others and encourages more people to pray for the souls. And if you've never prayed specifically for the souls in purgatory before, write in the comments, "This is my first ritual," because making that public declaration is a way to commit yourself, and commitment strengthens intention. Now, if this content is helping you grow spiritually, that you can help me in a very simple way. Click on the heart of the super thanks down there. It's not just financial support, it's you saying, "I want more people to discover these rituals. I want more souls to be helped." You've just learned the ritual of the 2 candles of the second day of the Christmas Novena. This teaching comes from Padre Pio, one of the greatest saints of the 20th century. Each super thanks helps me bring more revelations like this, to reach more people, to spread more light in a world that needs it so much. With each support, we can produce more videos, reach more souls hungry for spiritual truth. You become a partner in this mission of liberation of souls, and Padre Pio, from heaven, certainly intercedes in a special way for those who help spread his legacy. Tomorrow at 5:00 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 souls will see the light because of you. 2 souls. Perhaps they've been waiting for years, or even decades, for someone, anyone, to pray for them. 2 souls who will thank you for all of eternity. Get your candles ready. Prepare your heart. The second day of the Christmas Novena is almost here. May the infant Jesus who is about to be born bless you and your entire family. May the souls in purgatory receive the radiance, the beacon that you are about to send them. And may that light return multiplied into your own life. We'll see you tomorrow. And may your 2 candles illuminate not only the souls in purgatory, but the entire path that remains while until Christmas. Padre Pio, pray for us and for all the souls in purgatory.